I'm so curious to know, how did you feel when you received what you needed from someone who gave it to you with a full heart? Did it feel good? It probably felt really, really good. Well, I want to speak to you today about a certain Tehillim, a certain parak in King David's book of Psalms. It's parak 15, and it says the following: Who lends not his money on interest. So here we learn about from Rabbi Zelik Pliskin's book on Tehillim. Here we learn about how do we receive help, and here we learn about when we do receive help from others. The best way to receive it is when the other person does not expect any interest. And this is very difficult. Why is this very difficult? Because it's very natural to think and to feel, what's in it for me? Why should I give? And you know what? When I do give, how am I going to be looked at? Maybe it's the honor that we're looking for. Maybe it's that it's knowing that we're going to receive more help from the other person. It's expecting something else, whether it's tangible or not. And the Torah teaches us that this is not the way to expect anything from anyone. In the previous verse of this Tehillim, it talks about how does a person act properly, and how is a person praised who acts properly. One of the ways we act properly is by lending money to another person with a full heart, meaning not expecting anything in return. This is very difficult. However, the more you do it, the more it becomes a part of you. And if Hashem expects it from us, then He believes that we can do it. One way to lend money is not to derive any tangible benefit for this amazing act of kindness. It is natural for human beings to want something in return. However, we're going to work on ourselves just to give with a full heart. Every infant who is born, everyone who is born, naturally seeks to look after themselves, naturally wants to make sure their needs are met, and constantly seeks just to satisfy themselves. Unfortunately, this tendency actually continues when they grow up into adults, and we really just seek what's in it for me. Now, there's nothing wrong with seeking to satisfy yourself in the way that you know your needs are met. However, when you give to someone, it shouldn't be by expecting some kind of gratification in any way. Our goal is to elevate ourselves beyond this point, beyond this primitive way of looking at giving. So, what do we do with money? What do we do with money when we have it? We either spend it on ourselves, we invest in something else, or we engage in a business partnership, or we look in how we can use that money to make more money, basically. So why do people borrow money? Obviously, people borrow money because they need it, because they're running low, because their needs aren't met. They're basically not being fulfilled in the basic needs, which is maybe drinking, maybe it's shelter, maybe it's eating. Basically, they need to provide for their own needs. And I want to make a note that it is very embarrassing for a person to ask someone as it is. So our job when we give to somebody else, we should make it as easy as possible for them. So my practical tip to you today is, when you are giving to somebody, whether it's a tomato, whether it's an onion, whether it's a glass of milk, whatever that it is, for your neighbor, for your sister, for your brother, whoever is in your life, the person who is especially not close to you feels already a feeling of discomfort, that they're asking you for something. They feel like they owe you something. And for some people, it's so difficult to ask that when they do, they say, oh, you know what, I'm going to bring it back to you next week, or tomorrow I'm definitely going to go shopping and I'll bring you that bag of potatoes, or whatever that it is. Now, the fact that it's difficult for the person to receive, that's something they need to work on, because if somebody's willing to help you, then take advantage of that opportunity, because it's that person's opportunity to give as well. So to make it easier for you to give and for the person to receive, try to say the following. Try to say, I'm so happy to give to you. I'm so happy you asked me, because if I'm able to help, I'm really glad to help. Thank you for the opportunity to give to you. So this is when the person hears this, they feel so good. They may still feel uncomfortable, but you just made them feel so much better on the receiving end. And you make them feel valued. You make them feel less uncomfortable and so grateful to know you, because there aren't many people who say this. Most people say, what's in it for me? If I'm going to give to her, you know what, next week I'm going to need something, so I'll definitely ask her, so I'll give with a happy smile. No, the goal is to give without expecting anything. That's the goal. So I would like to tell you a story on someone who actually hosted guests from Europe. Someone who hosted guests from Europe, he was expecting a number of guests. And when the guests arrived, he said to them, I really want you to take advantage of all the amenities that I have here. You are going to be treated like 5-star hotel guests. Take advantage. Enjoy your stay completely. Please let me know what else I can do for you. And guess what? I'm going to give you a bargain. You're going to save so much money by being in my place versus going to a hotel. So here the guests came thinking that they're going to pay something. And they're going to save some money. So after the guests have their stay, they're going to leave, and they're getting prepared to leave, and the guests asked the host, so what is the bill amount to? What should we pay you? And he said, I don't need anything. The bill is $0. And the reason why I didn't tell you how much the bill is originally is because if I would have told you that I don't expect anything, any money, you would have felt uncomfortable. You wouldn't have enjoyed your stay. You would have known that I don't expect anything back, so you need to just be extra careful with things. You wouldn't have enjoyed your stay as much, and you would have really felt very self-conscious. So this story teaches us that when a person knows that they're not going to give anything back, but just ask them with a full heart. Tell them that I don't expect anything. And when they get used to this type of personality, they're going to replicate it. They're going to emulate you by relating to others. So why is it important to give money in the first place? First of all, we know that it's a Torah commandment to give and be kind to others. The Torah says to give just for the sake of giving. You have to understand that when you have money, when you have anything, it's yours because Hashem gave it to you. You are given the money to use for a certain purpose, to serve Hashem. So if you have money, you need to use it to serve Him the best way that you can for the purpose of serving Hashem. So you need to understand that the person who's asking you for the money or a person who you're giving it to is also a child of the Creator. You are both children of Hashem, and Hashem wants you both to help each other. So when the right hand needs something, gives it to the left hand gives it back to the right hand, and whenever they need anything, they don't ask for anything in return. It's just a very unified partnership. They are one. We are commanded in the Torah to love other people like ourselves. And it's very important to internalize that when we're giving to others, because just like we want others to give to us, we have to emulate that practice in giving to others with a full heart. When we act according to this principle, it elevates us to give, and we give in such a beautiful way that this makes the whole idea of giving purely for the sake of giving a truly kind act, a beautiful act of kindness. I want to leave you with a beautiful prayer May we all give to each other with a full heart, not expecting anything in return, giving for the sake of giving, and therefore enhancing our relationship with our Creator and each other. Leah Abramov, Being and Becoming.